Hey, so like you're not gonna go too over the top for 4th of July, right? Mark. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 79 of the regular season, where the Astros win, 7-6 in walk-off fashion over the Kansas City Royals, and once again, Royals blowing a massive lead on 4th of July. I mean, it just tale as old as time. Also, not sure if you can tell because I'm short and it doesn't show, but the shirt is George Washington wearing American flag aviators. So, I can't emphasize to you how much I love this shirt. Okay, so let's start with pitching, because that's really the elephant of the room. And by the way, yes, the glasses are staying on for the entire video as a joke. Anyway, the pitching, Jake Odorizzi gets the start, and it's his first start in weeks. And, okay, Jake Odorizzi got hit around quite a bit. 4 innings of work, 9 hits, 5 runs. That's not great. Now, only gave up 1 home run. Got 3 strikeouts, which isn't a crazy number or anything, but it's okay enough. And only walked 1 guy. He also got 9 swings and misses, which was the most of anyone in the game. Only giving up 5 hard hit balls in 4 innings, which again, that's still more than you'd like, and that's reflective of him giving up a lot of runs. But all of that is to say this: he did not pitch well. I also think he got a bit unlucky with some base hits. It wasn't like he was completely out of the control, walking a bunch of guys like he did in the one start in the Space City jerseys a while back, the first night we had him. So, yeah, he wasn't good, and I'm not going to say that. I also don't think that after 1 game back, after a few weeks of time missed for Jake Odorizzi, that we should just immediately say, he's the one going to the bullpen, and kick him off the team. I think we give him another start, see if he is any better, and if he isn't, if he gets hit around again then I think you go, okay, yep, he moves to the bullpen. But I think 1 game just isn't enough to completely just can him to the pen yet. If it happens again, then yeah, I think the answer is becoming a lot more clear of who's going to be the long reliever. Once Lance comes back, it's going to be him and Urquidy. But I think we give him another chance. Seth Meyers would come in, and man, Seth Meyers has been pretty darn solid. I mean, he is a legitimate reliever in this bullpen, and I don't think you can argue it anymore. A 3-inning outing, getting 3 strikeouts, only giving up a pair of base runners, no runs allowed, really keeping the Astros in this game. A brilliant performance by Seth Martinez, just fantastic. Came out of absolutely nowhere, Seth Martinez. He's been fantastic. Phil Maton would come in the 8th inning and surrender a home run, which isn't wonderful. Would also get a strikeout, though, and that home run was the only hit or base runner he allowed. So, yeah, it sucks, but it happens. We move on. Ryan Stanek, clinic again. Did walk a guy, but solid 9th inning of work to get us to the bottom of the 9th tied. And then, obviously, Yordan Alvarez would kick in. Now, let's switch it to the offense. Look, Astros go down 5-0 in this game in the 3rd inning. And that's obviously not good, and I understand that's not good. But I still wasn't worried. And I just wasn't. I'm like, nah, we're going to still come back in this. I know it was 5 runs, and here's the thing. Maybe it was blind optimism, maybe it was stupidity, maybe it was hubris, but I just felt that the Astros were still going to come back in this game and at least make it competitive, and they in fact made it a lot more than competitive. They would figure out a way to win, and that, it's corny, and it goes against all advanced analytics, but the phrase, winners just figure out ways to win, is a great way to describe this game. The Astros go down 5-0. Everything tells you that is bad. The Royals offense looked like they had just figured out our pitching staff, and then it was going to be over. It looked like we were going to get shelled, and the Astros fight back, and they claw, fight, and scratch their way, sometimes slowly. I mean, we had the big 8th inning, but for a while, we just slowly chipped away, slowly getting ourselves back into it, and then a big 8th inning to really do that. But the first 3 runs of this game weren't flashy. They weren't home runs. They weren't anything like that. Sac fly from Kyle Tucker in the 4th inning to make it a 5-1 game. An Altuve single that he just beats out an infield single to get on. That would make it 5-2. And then I believe it was a ground out in the 7th. Yeah, Mauricio Dubon grounding out to score another run in the 7th to make it 5-3. We weren't flashy. We were just figuring out ways to get runs on the board. And then you kind of get flashy come the 8th inning. Because 3 consecutive walks, Jeremy Pena, Yordan Alvarez, and Alex Bregman, And all of a sudden, bases are loaded with no outs for Kyle Tucker, who gets a big RBI single, 2 RBI single to be in fact. That would end up making it 6-5. And then Yuli Gurriel just blopping one, pretty well placed, right up the middle, and it is tied 6-6. Now, it would have been nice if we could have, done more in that inning because we still had a couple men on with no outs, but, gave way to the 9th inning. And the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who is just practically unstoppable, it feels at this point. Yordan Alvarez today went 1 for 3, which doesn't sound great, but with the walk-off home run and a pair of walks to boot, people are terrified of Yordan. You could tell that throughout the first 8 innings of the game, that people are terrified to face him. They don't want to pitch to him. And then in the 9th, you see why you're afraid to pitch to him. And this wasn't even a good pitch to hit. This wasn't right down the pipe. It wasn't a meatball. This was, I want to say, in the lower third, or maybe it was slightly, middle away. This was not a good pitch to drive. This was not a good pitch to turn on. It wasn't like it was a pitch that was low in the zone that he could golf. It wasn't like it was just high in the zone that he was just able to crush. This was not a conventionally good pitch to hit for Yordan Alvarez, and he still turned on it. 444 feet deep at 112 miles an hour, a absolute missile to walk it off and give the Astros the win on the 4th of July. I'm telling you guys, we just find ways to win. We just find ways to win. We've done it again. I'm elated. And I would have rather you not had to come back from down 5-0 to the Royals. That's not wonderful. But you did it anyway, and you still came back, so I'm just gonna be happy. And hey, it was a Yordan walk-off. Who's not gonna be excited about that? His first walk-off home run. He had a couple of walk-off base hits last year, and I think one this year. But first walk-off home run of his career at the major league level, which is super cool. So the Astros continue the streak today, and we look to really continue it tomorrow. 8:10 Eastern, 7:10 Central. The Astros send Luis Garcia to the mound, and the Royals send Zach Greinke, who is having a year that you expect for pitchers deep into their twilight like Zach Greinke, but man, it's gonna hurt if we do end up winning, especially if we end up teeing off on him. Ideally, Greinke just pitches a lot of innings, or pitches a lot of pitches, and gets chased due to a high pitch count in the 3rd or 4th inning, and not from runs, because, God, I do love Zach Greinke, and I don't want to just tee off against him, but I really feel like we could, which kind of hurts me, because I freaking adore Zach Greinke. Again, 8:10 Eastern, 7:10 Central, and I'll be here afterwards to talk about it. But that is all I have to say for the video, so thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. Happy late 4th of July, and as always, go Astros.